Game 1, Houston Rockets obliterate the Spurs. It was crazy. They hit 12 or 13 threes in the first half. By the third quarter, they already went 18 for 41 from three, shooting 42.5% from three. All right, now so you can know how crazy that was. The Spurs through three quarters shot 36% from the field goal percentage. The Rockets from three shot 42%. They shot 48% through three quarters and just basically put them away. This game wasn't even close. This was a beatdown. If you look at the Houston Rockets bench, they played a huge role from Nene to Lou Williams. Everybody was just balling out. It was crazy. I feel like the more that they pushed the pace, the less and less the Spurs felt comfortable. And that took the Spurs out of their defense. And when their defense was suffering, they lost a lot of confidence on offense. Particularly LaMarcus Aldridge, he was horrendous. He was horrible. I think he had 4 points in the first half. And I don't even know what he finished with because it's not even important because the Spurs offense is basically a shell of itself. And I think that's because, like Baron Davis and Charles Barkley were saying, that pace was just too much for them. And Houston fans, you should be happy. You should be elated because I picked the Spurs to win in 5. I thought their defense would be too much. They're the number 1 ranked defense in the NBA. To allow 67 points in half or whatever it was, and to have the largest deficit in your playoff history. It's just mind-boggling. Sometimes though, you have those nights where teams come in and they just drain a whole bunch of shots on your head. I mean, sometimes there's nothing you can do about it. But the way the Spurs were playing, they just looked old. Tony Parker wasn't getting to the basket. Kawhi Leonard was getting stripped. Everybody was just every time they went in the paint, they got stripped. And I think the small ball lineup was kind of giving them a problem. One of the things you have to look out for the Spurs is this: LaMarcus Aldridge and Pau Gasol, they can't play together if they're going to place a small ball lineup due to the fact that they're both slow-footed and they have to guard either Ariza or Ryan Anderson. And those guys pump fake, drive by, or they move to the corners, or they move when Harden drives, and that's it. So it's a wide-open three. The Houston Rockets took a whole bunch of wide-open threes. And that's something that Greg Popovich, he tried to call a timeout in the beginning of the game, but you could sense slowly but surely the run was going to be on. The run was coming on. Their offense just never gained any traction. Kawhi Leonard, he tried his best, poor guy. He had 21 through three quarters, and he went 5 for 14. Some midway, 3 quarters through the game. But honestly, the score after the third quarter, the score didn't even matter. Nothing else mattered because the game was already decided in the first half, and that's it. That's how it falls sometimes. We saw this in the NBA Finals 2 or 3 years ago, where the Spurs. No, this was 5. It was 5 years ago. Miami Heat played the Spurs, and this is when Ray Allen hit that big shot, and Heat won in 7. Every game that the Heat and Spurs played, it was a blowout. So this might be the series where you're going to get a whole bunch of blowouts. You never know. But the simple fact that the Spurs cannot guard the perimeter is very, very scary, because how are you ranked the number 1 defense, but you can't guard the perimeter? And then you gave up all these shots on the interior. So, and another factor was they were getting out rebounded in certain points of the game. So I think that you can't necessarily overreact, but the Spurs dropping game 1 the way they did and coming out of a tough series, you would think they would have a lot more energy for this game, because this is more of their style of game, where it's up and down, not banging like the Grizzlies series. But I don't know what happened to them. They just caught off guard. As far as Houston, they played a masterful game. Mike D'Antoni did his thing with his X's and O's. And James Harden and Lou Williams just magnifique the way they were getting to the basket, scoring at will, getting Spurs in foul trouble. So it was crazy. Game 2 is definitely going to be a key game, pivotal for the Spurs. They can't go down 2-0 and then expect to go to Houston and try to reverse and try to come back because they don't have enough offensive firepower. And that, I thought the Memphis series was a fluke, but it obviously wasn't. That wasn't a fluke at all. There's something wrong with their offense. I don't know if LaMarcus Aldridge is not comfortable or Pau Gasol's not comfortable shooting 15-footers anymore, but LaMarcus has to step up. I mean, he was like a negative 36 in the plus minus. That's unacceptable. In Portland, you were balling. They brought you here so you could be the second guy in command, second chain in command to replace Tim Duncan, but also to be a key cog to score the ball. That's what we all know LaMarcus Aldridge. He's had a bunch of playoff games. He scored 40 points. You know, he's gone crazy, but against the Rockets, it's like you're shooting over chairs. It shouldn't be a problem. But obviously, there's some kind of timidity there. This is Vlad from Hoops Junction, where Hoops meets Hoopla. Peace.